What's up guys, you are just in time for today's video. Today we're going to be going over my 100% I'm so confident. Also, I'm probably just guessing plays of the week. If you're new to the channel, I have a love list, I have a hate list, and I have a sneaky player list that I go over for each position. So let's jump right into it with the players that I love. At the quarterback position, Geno Smith against Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins really shouldn't put up any fight this week. Their morale is crushed. Having to do without Tua. Defense can be had, and the offense really shouldn't be putting up much of a fight. Geno should be able to end this game by halftime. Geno is looking like he's back to that comeback player of the year play that he had the year before last, and he's looking like he has three guaranteed weapons in JSN, DK, and Tyler Lockett that he can pick and choose where he wants to get to his spots, and he's doing a good job this year. At the running back position, the guys I love, one being Zamir White against the Panthers defense. It's pretty self-explanatory. This Panthers team in general is not very good, specifically the defense. They can be had through the rush. Again, just like Miami, this game and hopefully should be over by halftime. Me being a Raiders fan, that would be lovely. I understand that Andy Dalton is playing this week, not Bryce Young, but this defense should be able to be had and they should be able to crush in the rush game. Antonio Pierce has said over and over again that he wants Zamir White to eat. He wants the rush game to be more balanced, and he wants to get this man 20 touches. Eventually, this is going to happen. Zamir White's season is coming eventually. I do think Carolina is a good week to start that off. So you can feel confident playing him in your running back slot. Another running back I love is Tony Pollard. Tyjae Spears seems like he's not going to play this week. Even when he does play, Tony Pollard is still leading in snaps, leading in volume. But at the end of the day, if he's not playing, that's less goal line opportunities that could be taken away. That's less 2-minute drills, less 4-minute drills, that's less offense in general. The Packers are probably going to be playing Malik Willis again, so it's going to be a rush versus rush slugfest. Can't trust Malik Willis, can't trust Will Levis. These coaches are going to do their best to keep the ball out of their hands and get it to the running back, slow the game down, play a little defense. Josh Jacobs, Tony Pollard is going to be a who can get to 100 yards faster game, and my bet is Tony Pollard. Wide receiver position, I'm going to call this a get-right game for Amari Cooper. If he doesn't, I'm not saying he's droppable, but I really wouldn't trust him. I wouldn't trust to put him back in my lineup anytime soon if he can't get right against the New York Giants. Deshaun Watson is playing a little bit better. The only thing is he's not getting into his A-list receiver, Amari Cooper. He's getting into the likes of Jerry Jeudy, Jerome Ford, who I do think are also good plays this week. But again, I'm going to smash Amari Cooper. If he can't do it against the Giants, he's not going to do it this season. At the tight end position, give me Dallas Goedert. He hasn't really given you any blow-up games yet. But again, who has the tight end position? He has a high floor and somewhat of a suspicious ceiling. Give me Dallas Goedert against the Saints. All the players I hate at the quarterback position, Trevor Lawrence, he really hasn't given you much all year round. And against this Bills defense, I do think they're going to be down. This Bills team is predicated on defense and rushing the ball. They're going to play the time of possession. Trevor Lawrence is not going to have the ball that often, and even when he does have it, he hasn't really done anything with it. I don't trust Trevor Lawrence. I don't trust the Jaguars wide receivers. The only person I'm really trusting at this point is Travis Etienne, and that's based off of volume alone. And even him, you really can't trust with the likes of Tank Bixby right on his tail, getting touches on goal line and this and that, and it's crazy, man. Another quarterback that I'm not really trusting doesn't really have much to do with him himself, but it's his weapons around him. His offensive line is decimated. His offensive weapons in general are decimated. And that's Matthew Stafford. He's already down Puka Nacua. Now he's down Cooper Kupp. So he's going to be thrown into the likes of Jordan Whittington, Demarcus Robinson, Tutu Atwell, Tyler Johnson. A-list wide receivers, in my opinion. Obviously, I'm being sarcastic. And Matthew Stafford can get it done with these guys, but I just really don't trust them. And against the 49ers defense, at home, they're going to be throwing the ball. So he's going to have plenty of opportunities to turn the ball over. I think you should just pass. You should have better options this week than Matthew Stafford. At the running back positions, everyone's darling, J.K. Dobbins. Now, hear me out. Yes, I understand he's averaging over 100 yards a game, and that sounds good and all, but he's not really getting a lot of attempts. He's getting anywhere between 10 and 15 attempts a game. If he doesn't break off these long runs, he's not really having good games. On top of that, Justin Herbert might not play. They're playing against the Steelers defensive line. Well, TJ Watt is probably the best defensive player in the league right now. This Steelers defense is stingy against rush offenses. Even though I do trust, John Harbaugh and the Chargers to stick with the offensive game of rushing, even if it's not working out, I would try my best to bench J.K. Dobbins this week and let me see him prove it. If he can prove against the Steelers, then you have a season-long RB1. But again, I think you can find better options this week. I also am going to sit DeAndre Swift until I can see this Bears offense improve and Caleb Williams do what he said he was going to do, and that's to make this offense prolific. Keenan Allen is hurt; he's out again. Rome Odunze is coming back. DJ Moore is frustrated. This Bears offense in general is not really looking too good. DeAndre Swift has been abysmal at the running back position. You're really playing him based off a name value. I wouldn't trust him as a running back. I wouldn't even trust him as a flex. He has no upside. So you should be able to find someone better to play than DeAndre Swift. The receiver that I hate is, again, just like I spoke about earlier, all the Jaguar wide receivers. I don't trust Christian Kirk. I don't trust Gabe Davis. These are, Brian Thomas is going to get maybe one long bomb a game, but that's not enough to trust. He has no ceiling. He has a very low floor. He's not getting a lot of volume. I really don't want to play any of the wide receivers. Even Evan Ingram is going to be out again this week, and last week you might have thought, oh, he pulled a hamstring, so the receiver should work. The backup tight end came, and his first game he led in targets. Brenton Strange. Probably going to do that again this week, and that's not a good look for the Jaguar wide receivers. Sit them, play them at your own cost. The tight end that I hate, it's kind of a cop-out, but I'm going to say all of the Saints tight ends. You got Foster Moreau. You got Taysom Hill, who's probably coming back. You got Juwan Johnson. The Saints offense is firing on all cylinders, scoring 40 points a game, and you just can't trust any of their guys. Because 1 week it's Rashid Shaheed, 1 week it's Alvin Kamara, 1 week it's one tight end, 1 week it's another. You got Derek Carr punching in, rushing touchdowns, hitting the Mike Jackson dance. I mean, everyone's getting some love, but it's too spread out, which is good for real life NFL. But for fantasy, if you don't have that one guy you can depend on, you have no one. So I'm going to pass on the Saints tight end. Now, my sneaky play at the quarterback position, I'm going to go with Sam Darnold. This Texans offense is going to score points in bunches, which means the Vikings are going to have to keep up. But they do have a pretty solid defense, so I don't think it's going to be a major shootout. But at the end of the day, this Vikings offense is going to have to keep up, and they're not going to be able to do that with Aaron Jones and Ty Chandler rushing the ball. Sam Darnold is going to have to put the team on his back and give you 250, maybe 300 yards, a couple of touchdowns. And I think that he can do so. As long as you have Justin Jefferson on your team, you have a safe floor. My sneaky play at the running back position, I'm going to go with Cam Akers. With Damian Pierce out, Joe Mixon out, you only have Dare Ogunbowale as your backup. He's going to lead this team in rushing as long as he doesn't fumble the ball. He's going to lead this team. It's also a revenge week. I mean, you could take that for what it is, but he does want to prove that the Vikings cutting him was a mistake, and they trust Cam Akers. We've seen in the preseason what he's able to do. So at the running back position, you can trust Cam Akers. At the wide receiver position, I'm going to go with Deontay Johnson against my Raiders. Andy Dalton is getting a start this week for Bryce Young, so the wide receiver weapons are getting a little bit of an upgrade. And Andy Dalton is a type of quarterback that knows how to get the ball to his studs, and that's Deontay Johnson. Against this Raiders offense, the Carolina Panthers won't be able to run the ball, so they're going to be forced to pass it. I also am going to slide in Adam Thielen in this if you have to play him in your flex. So I'm saying Deontay Johnson because he's a better player, but if you want to slide Adam Thielen in instead, I won't argue with you. And last but not least, at the tight end position, let's go with Jonnu Smith. Tua's out, Scarlett Thompson's in, and I don't think he's going to have the long bombs like Tua with Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. They're going to have manufactured touches, special with Devon Achane, but I do think the short passing game, get the ball out quick, screen passes, and slants over the field, and that's going to be Jonnu Smith. I think that he has a solid floor, and he is a sneaky good athlete. At the tight end position, you can do a lot worse. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week.